Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive today. We're going to be looking at how to craft business proposals that win deals.
Definitely a hot topic.
Yeah, especially in B2B SaaS. A killer proposal can be everything.
Absolutely. It can make or break a deal for sure.
To help us break this down, we've got Nova here, an expert in persuasive communication. Nova, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here. Ready to dive in.
All right, let's do it. Imagine you're on Shark Tank. You're trying to pitch these skeptical investors. What's the one thing that'll get them to say yes?
You need a rock solid proposal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, Nova, for some of our listeners who might be newer to this, what exactly do we mean by a business proposal?
So a business proposal, it's like a targeted arrow. You're aiming it at a specific client with the goal of persuading them that your solution is the perfect fit for their problem.
Okay. So how's it different from an RFP?
Good question. An RFP is more like the client is setting up a flare. They're saying, hey, we have this problem. Show us how you'd fix it and what it'll cost. So your proposal is basically your response showing them why you're the best choice.
Gotcha. And what about a business plan? How does that fit into all of this?
So a business plan, think of that as your company's internal roadmap. It's all about outlining your vision, your long-term goals. But it's focused inwards. A proposal is all about convincing the client to choose you.
So basically, the goal of a proposal is to get to that yes.
Exactly. You want that big, resounding yes from the client. And to get there, you need to persuade them that your solution is the answer. No ifs, ands, or buts.
So it's about making them feel confident in your ability to deliver.
For sure. And that involves laying out a clear plan, timelines, pricing, all those nitty-gritty details. They need to know that you've got it all figured out.
It's like you're saying, hey, we're the real deal.
Yeah.
We've got the experience, the expertise, and we can get this done.
100%. And to back that up, you need proof, testimonials, data case studies, anything that shows you've walked the walk before.
Right. It's not just about talking the talk. It's about showing them that you've got a track record of success.
Exactly. And you know what else? A proposal can be a great conversation starter.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's like an icebreaker. It can open doors to deeper discussions and really help solidify that client relationship.
I love that. Now, I'm guessing there are different types of proposals out there. It's not always a formal, here's an RFP, respond to this situation, right?
Right on. There are actually three main types of proposals. The first one is formally solicited, so that's when you're directly responding to an RFP. The client lays out very specific requirements, and you're tailoring your proposal to meet those needs.
Okay, makes sense. What about those situations where it's a bit more casual? Maybe you had a great conversation with a potential client at a trade show. What then?
That's where informally solicited proposals come in. You're basically taking that initial spark of interest and turning it into a concrete plan.
Gotcha. So it's less about responding to a specific request and more about capitalizing on that existing momentum.
Exactly. And then there's the third type, the unsolicited proposal.
Okay, this one sounds interesting.
It is. It's like sending a love letter to a client you haven't met yet. It's a cold outreach pitch. So it's definitely tougher to land because there's no prior request. But it shows initiative and can open doors to opportunities the client hadn't even considered.
I like it. It's all about being proactive and taking that extra step to stand out from the crowd. Now, regardless of the type of proposal, what are the essential ingredients that make a winning proposal? What needs to be in there?
Okay, so every winning proposal needs a few key components. First off, you need a clear and professional title page. You want to make a strong first impression.
Absolutely. It's like the cover of a book. It's got to grab their attention.
Right. And then you've got the executive summary.
Mm.
This is your elevator pitch. It needs to hook the reader instantly. Highlight how you'll help them achieve their goals, but keep it concise.
That's like a movie trailer. You got to give them a taste of the good stuff without giving away the entire plot.
Exactly. Then comes the problem statement. This is where you go deeper than just repeating the client's issues. You need to demonstrate that you truly understand their unique situation.
So it's about showing them you've done your homework.
Yes, you're saying, hey, I get you. I understand your pain points better than anyone else.
Now, after you've defined the problem, what's next?
You move into the proposed solution, and this is where it gets really interesting. You don't want to just list features. You need to focus on the benefits. How does your solution address their specific needs? What value are you bringing to the table?
It's not about what your product does. It's about how it solves their problem.
Exactly. And then comes the pricing and timeline section. This is all about transparency. You need to be upfront about costs and expected results, no surprises.
Honesty and clarity are key.
Absolutely. And finally, you need a strong call to action. Don't let the proposal just fizzle out. Tell the client exactly what to do next, whether it's scheduling a meeting or signing the agreement. Make it easy for them to say yes.
You want to leave them with a clear path forward. Now, we know the pieces of the puzzle, but how do we actually put it all together? How do we go from a blank page to a winning proposal?
It's a journey, and it starts with research. You need to dive deep into the client's world, their business, their goals, their challenges.
So step one, know your audience inside and out.
Right. And there are some great tools out there to help you with that, like Zoom Info can be really helpful.
Zoom info.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great resource. But I know it can be a bit pricey for some folks. Are there any free alternatives you'd recommend?
There are actually. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a fantastic option for gathering insights and understanding the key decision makers within your target companies. You can also leverage free resources like company websites, industry reports, and news articles. You can learn a lot just from doing a little digging.
Awesome. So we've done our research. We know our client. What's next?
Step 2 is to define the problem sharply. You need to make the client feel the urgency of their situation. Quantify the impact of their challenges.
So don't just say, hey, your business is facing some challenges. You need to really drive home the point.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of saying something vague like, your business is facing challenges that are hindering efficiency and growth, you could say something like, your business is losing 20% of potential revenue due to inefficient customer onboarding. See how much more powerful that is.
Wow. Yeah, that definitely paints a clearer picture. Okay, so research done, problem defined. What comes next?
Step 3 is all about personalizing your solution. This is where you go beyond a generic fix and show how your product seamlessly integrates with their existing processes.
So it's like a custom tailored suit, a perfect fit just for them.
Exactly. You're showing them that you're not just throwing a one-size-fits-all solution their way. You're tailoring your offering to their specific pain points.
I like it. It shows that you're really listening and that you understand their unique needs. What's the next step in our proposal journey?
All right, so step 4 is all about structure. You want your proposal to have a logical flow. That's what keeps the reader engaged.
Yeah, it's got to be easy to follow.
Exactly. Think of it like a well-organized closet. Everything has its place. You know where to find what you need. Oh, I love a good organized closet.
Me too. It just makes life so much easier. And it's the same with proposals. You want a clear structure, intro, problem, solution, pricing, all that good stuff. And use headings and bullet points to break things up, make it easy to digest.
It's like one of those recipe blogs where you can just skip right to the recipe if you want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. And then step 5, data. This is where you back up your claims with cold, hard facts, metrics, case studies, visuals. You need to prove that your solution actually works.
Right. It's not enough to just say it. You got to show it.
100%. I actually lost a deal once because my proposal was lacking hard data. It was a painful lesson, but it taught me the importance of showing, not just telling.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see how that would be a turning point. What are some creative ways to present data, though? To really make it pop?
Oh, there are so many fun ways to do that. Infographics are amazing. They can take complex information and make it visually appealing and easy to understand.
Infographics. Yeah, those are great. What about interactive charts and graphs? Those are fantastic, too. There are tools like Tableau and Data Wrapper that can help you create those. And even simple things like using color and icons can make a big difference.
Yeah, data visualization is so powerful. Okay, so we've got our research, we've defined the problem, we've personalized our solution, we've structured our proposal, and we've backed it up with data. What's next?
Step 6 is all about speaking their language. You need to use terms that resonate with the client's priorities and avoid unnecessary jargon. You know, a CEO cares about different things than a project manager,
Yeah,
so you need to tailor your language accordingly.
that makes total sense.
Right.
It's about meeting them where they are and speaking directly to their needs and interests.
Exactly. And then finally, step 7. And this one is non-negotiable. You have to proofread.
Yes, proofreading is so important.
It is. It's like showing up to a big meeting in a wrinkled suit. It just sends the wrong message.
I would never.
Exactly. So use tools like Grammarly or even ChatGPT can be helpful for catching those little errors.
Those are lifesavers for sure.
Yep.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the content of the proposal. But what about the presentation? Does design really matter that much?
It absolutely does. Design is more than just making things look pretty. It's about creating a visually impactful proposal that reinforces your brand and makes the information easy to understand.
So it's about making it aesthetically pleasing but also functional.
Right. You want to use consistent branding, your fonts, your colors, your logo placement, and visuals, charts, graphs, screenshots. All of that can really bring your proposal to life.
I'm a very visual person, so I totally get that. Are there any tools that you recommend for creating visually appealing proposals?
Oh, yeah. Canva and Venngage are great. They have tons of templates and design elements to help you create something professional looking. You can even incorporate interactive elements, like clickable links and embedded videos.
Ooh, that's cool. I've always thought it's important to maintain your own distinct brand identity, though. When does it make sense to adapt to the client's style?
That's a great question. It's definitely a balancing act. You want to stay true to your brand, but subtly mirroring the client's style can also be really effective, like using a similar color palette or incorporating elements of their branding. It creates a sense of familiarity and rapport.
It shows them that you're paying attention and that you're on the same page.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Okay, so now let's talk about some common proposal pitfalls, things to avoid.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into the don'ts.
All right, so mistake number one, using generic information. You need to tailor each proposal to show that you've done your research and that you understand their specific needs.
So no cookie-cutter proposals.
No way, those rarely win deals. You also want to avoid overwhelming them with jargon. Keep the language clear and accessible. And as we talked about before, proofread.
Seriously, proofreading is key.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier about analyzing those subtle cues from past interactions with clients. How do we actually do that, though? How do we use that information to tailor our proposal?
It's all about active listening and reading between the lines, you know? Did they express hesitation about certain aspects of your solution? Were there any unstated concerns? Tools like Meet Record can be super helpful for reviewing past calls.
So you can go back and really analyze the conversation.
Exactly.
Ah.
You're not just listening to their words. You're paying attention to their tone of voice, their hesitations, the questions they ask.
You're picking up on those nonverbal cues.
Exactly. So, for example, if a client repeatedly mentions budget constraints during a call, you can address that directly in your proposal by highlighting the cost effectiveness of your solution or offering flexible payment options.
It's all about showing them that you understand their concerns and that you're committed to finding a solution that works for them.
Right. And speaking of finding solutions, let's talk about pricing strategies. This can be a tricky area. How do we strike that balance between staying competitive and making sure we're properly valuing our solutions?
Yeah, it really is. It's like putting your best foot forward. You're showcasing your company and your commitment to the client. Absolutely. And hey, one final piece of advice I'd give is to always be learning. The business world's always changing, you know. So make sure you're keeping up with the latest trends in proposal writing. And don't be afraid to adapt your approach as needed.
Couldn't agree more. You got to stay ahead of the curve.
So for all of our listeners out there, I want to leave you with this challenge. Think back to the last proposal you worked on. What's one thing you can do differently next time to make it even more compelling, more persuasive, more likely to win that deal?
I love that. It's all about continuous improvement.
Exactly. And hey, don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Start implementing these strategies today and watch your closing rates soar.
The results will speak for themselves.
That's it for today's deep dive into crafting winning business proposals. We hope you found this valuable. And remember, a killer proposal can be the key to unlocking incredible success in the B2B SaaS world. Until next time, happy proposing.